Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All the best to everyone. Mum, do you want to wave at everyone? Say hello, Mum, and wave. Come on, say wave.
Yeah.
Say hello to everyone, and wave. That's me, mammy. Me awesome mammy, Pat. 86 years old. I'm just trying to remember how many kids. My mum had 5, and my dad had 2, and we fostered one for a couple of years, a young girl. And mum were involved in a court case, so instead of going into the care system, my mum took the girl on, and she lived with us for a couple of years. VK, I'm not streaming to VK. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Must be something up. But we're on D Live and Truvo. If anyone would like to, I need some more subscribers on D Live. So if anyone would like to subscribe, I will put the So here we are. Good evening, Roch. Yes, Mark Williams. That's my D Live address. Just gone in. I'm also on Twitter, YouTube, and 2 accounts on Facebook. Just waiting for the girls to come on. They were in court today. So Public Child Protection, group of mothers who are rallying against sex education in Welsh schools, and they're taking the Welsh government to court. Also, at least one of them has run in elections or local elections. So, so as far as I'm concerned, these are the brightest and the budding of the new age councillors, activists coming in. There's nobody really. We've got issues with child sex education in schools, but there's nobody doing anything. So these girls have took the Welsh government to court, which has got them on GB News and a few other news stations. It should be a big topic, but it isn't. And I've no doubt that these girls will get abuse and stuff like that off people fighting against gender identity or people for pro at gender identity. And but the thing is, even though I'm not particularly religious, they have family values. We come from our family, and my mum and dad were together all their lives as a common law partnership. So I never went through anything of not having a mum there or not having a dad there. I never went through any of that, which is obviously as it's the benefits. It's made me a decent person, and I don't have the traits that other parentless people can have. Not saying it's everyone, but we know statistically that not being in a family environment can be detrimental to a lot of things, and kids will go down the wrong route and go into antisocial behaviour and crime. We know this. These are like proper statistics. So, we believe in the family. I would like families to get some kind of benefit. But like we have one of the reasons I got involved in the elections was a 30-year-old mother who I consider, who she would consider me a godparent or something like. No blood relative to me, but I've known this girl since she was born, and it took her 6 years to get a 2-bedroom house for a partner and 2 children. They're only in a 2-bedroom house. It took around 6 years. Been put into flats. And I don't believe that a flat is a good environment. Good evening, Stephen. I don't think flats are a good environment for children, to tell you the truth. I don't. every child should have a house. They should live in a house, not a flat. Now, I might be able to accept that maybe first time mother, or you've got one child, you might go in a 2-bedroom flat. Fair enough. But as them kids get older, they've got to be housed. So it took us 6 years to get a 2-bedroom house in the area where she lives. And this was one of the reasons that I picked the Hollingwood area, because I know this girl and I know her family. And both parents are working. They don't get any kind of extra benefits or anything, or they only get a certain amount of child time. But I don't want that for a family. We're going to incentivize people to have families. So if you have a family and there's 2 of you together, you're going to be looked after. You're going to get support for your children. I want to look at the education system. Obviously, we know it's bent, but I do want to look at the education system eventually. But yeah, so we would incentivize people to have families. I can't tell you the exact policy how it's going to work, but that's the sort of basis that I would like to go down the route, and so does Pat. So that's why I got involved in elections in Hollingwood. That was one of the primary reasons. Was this woman, 30-year-old mother, one of the primary reasons. And I mean, I've learned some stuff. I've got to address things in a certain way. But anyway, so thank you for calling on Public Child Protection. A group of mothers have took the Welsh government to court, and they've already been in court. I'll read the thumbnail to this video is an article out of the newspaper of these ladies. You all right, Mammy? You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're okay. Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mum. You're welcome. My Mammy Pat there. Absolutely unbelievable. Right, somebody's here. And it's Kim. Let's get Kim on. Good evening, Kim. What was that? You broke up a little bit there.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I said I can't hear you. Some strange reason I can't hear you, John.
You can't hear me? I am here. I can hear you.
Why am I? I can't get no sound on you. I'll go out and come back in. Let's try
Right,
that.
no worries. Go on. Technology, guys. Technology. Ugh. You always think that, it's going to be Brock heard us. Right. She said she couldn't hear me, but good evening, Brock. The Welsh flag in the background, I took it off the internet, but it just looks a bit lopsided to me. But I don't know whether that's... Actually, I think it is part of the flag to look a bit uneven, the green line going through the dragon, because all the other pictures of the flag look a bit uneven here. So it's probably meant to be like that. So obviously, eventually, we'd like to branch out in Wales as well, get somebody in Wales to run under the National Housing Party logo. And that's what we would like. And obviously Scotland. Right, Kim's coming back in. Let's see.
Can you hear me now, John?
Loud and clear, Kim. Can you hear me?
Yes, and I can hear you as well. I'm terrible with technology. I am awful, honestly.
Yeah, but we have to learn, Kim, because I mean, I can't stand social media, but it's an extension of my voice, and it's a platform where extra people to hear. Otherwise, that's the only reason I use it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be using it. I can't stand it. I think it's dangerous for. I think it's really dangerous for children and young adults. I don't like it. There's no kind of anyone can have an email. You're supposed to be over 18, but anyone can have them. I've got big issues with it. I've got real big issues with it.
I'm just glad I grew up in a time that I did, John. So I don't think I'm not much cop for this. I do try, but I'm no good at this stuff.
But what do you think about safeguarding issues with social media?
Well, there are no safeguarding provisions on there at all. Let's be honest. Anybody, yeah. I remember back when it first came out, I think you could only have 200 photo albums on there. And then I'm going back now when my children were really, really small. So my oldest boy was 6. He's just turned 18. And I remember you could only have, I don't know if it was 80 photo albums, I think it was. So because I'd had so many, I set an account up then in my son's name to start a new album on there. So my son was 6. And like I said, I'm going back 12 years now. So that was for to store the photos. He had never used that account. Obviously, he was 6. But I could do it. Anybody can do it. And parents do it as well. And I've also seen, Christmas is a bit of a giveaway. You always see the posts, what's the best smart device for a 3-year-old? Or, my 11-year-old's asking for an iPhone. All their friends had an iPhone. Am I a bad parent? I've seen that as well. And absolutely not. No, you're not a bad parent. Because I think it takes it takes strength and courage to go against the grain, and everybody wants to give their children the world. Everybody wants their children to be accepted and the same. So it's really difficult then to have these basic values in an era like today with all this technology. And the thing is, John, I don't like it. I know it takes between 20 and 45 minutes to groom a child online, depending on which study you're looking at, right? So it takes longer to make their dinner. Now, if it takes that long to groom a child online, you think you're teaching your child about stranger danger. Well, this person engaging online with your child is not a stranger. They're now friends. So you've got a predator in your living room. You don't even know what's going on. And I think the first sexual request comes within 80 minutes of communication. So this is stuff that nobody is aware of. And we all like to think that we safeguard our children, but we all have to be honest here. We're not equipped for it. We've never been taught about it. My children teach me how to put locks on devices. Is that really safeguarding, John? No, it's not.
No,
but there's trust, there's trust. And that has been the only thing. Does trust protect my children from predators? No, because they still engage with people online that I don't know. So this is the world that's created now. It's just really difficult. I feel for parents growing up, with children growing up now. I really do feel for them, to be honest.
I heard.
But you know what, John? Why do we have to learn to lock our devices? Why aren't we learning to unlock them? Okay, why is this stuff not censored anyway by big tech? Even the government, they can censor me on social media. So there is no help there, for the parents neither. Like I said, I think the responsibility is higher up, and blame is often placed on the head of parents. And like I said, parents are really up against it because they want their children to be the same as other children. We live in a competitive material world, so the odds are stacked against the children, heavily stacked against them.
Poor kids, mummy, poor children. I'm just sat with my mum. There's Mammy Pat. Mum, are you waving? Are you going to wave to everyone and say hello?
Hi, Mum Pat.
Go on, that's it, Mum. Lovely. Oh, we love you, Mammy Pat. We love you. Oh, give me your hand. Let me kiss it. Yeah, it's scary. Let me just go through the chat. Good evening, Arlene. Thanks for sharing. Johnny, not Powell, MBE. Nice to see you, mate. Betty, and I'm sure of Shazza in Leeds is good evening, Shazza. Lenore, good evening, Lenore. And Brock. And I've said all the rest. Thank you. So, was you in court today?
No, so he wasn't in court today, but what happened was we had to file our response to the judgment to the court today. So I'm not familiar with this process, the judicial review process anyway. So everything's a learning curve to me. What one letter says, another contradicts. So we did have to file paperwork to the court today. And I do know the government has filed extortionate costs against us. I mean, unbelievable costs they are filing against us. So, everything's still pretty much in the air a minute, John, but we have been ruled against at this moment in time, and they are just dotting their I's and crossing their T's, so to speak.
So what exactly did you take them to court for? What, was it, you said to me what you took them to court for, what's on the documents.
Right, so obviously the government everywhere, right? We've got this new sex education coming all across the UK. Looks different, slightly different wherever you look, but at the end of the day, it's dangerous. It's all coming from the same place. We're all headed to the same place. But here in Wales, they've gone a step further, a lot faster. So they've legislated for this RSE, Relationship and Sexuality Education, which is actually comprehensive sexuality education. You've all got in the UK, all right? So they've legislated from age 3 to 16, no parental opt-out. It is now one of 4 mandatory subjects. So the government in Wales believe our children need Welsh, English, religion, values and ethics, and relationship and sexuality education to become happy, healthy, confident individuals in this ever-changing world. So we've lost science, we've lost maths, they don't matter. But this is now the whole school approach. So children have got this from age 36 months for a quarter of their mandatory curriculum, part of the whole school approach, which is in every single subject across the curriculum, including corridor talk. So indoctrination or what? And we have absolutely no say in whatever they want to teach our children.
Right. Well, let me just pick up on something there. So, what you said a minute ago, you said the teaching these 4 subjects and they're putting them priority above maths and stuff like that. So how the kids, what kind of jobs are they're going to do when they get older? What they're going to learn. I believe in mathematics and the sciences, me, big believer. And I mean, the school year, I will be looking to extend it to 18, and then if you go into now you have sixth form college in it, which is 16 to 18. I would make that 18 to 20, but make them do the school life an extra 2 years. Teach them more on sciences, economics, and stuff to do with the country and looking after you, and also promote the family well-being. I was just telling everyone
how to be self-sustainable. So growing food, making your own clothes, where's all that gone? All the practical things, how to actually, do your taxes and things that actually matter, and things that actually matter to the child. So if we look at the education system as it is now, let's take an artist, for example. let's say they've got the timetable now over 2 or 3 weeks, haven't they? Not just 1 week. So let's say they have 2 hours in a fortnight. So this budding artist now is so talented, he gets his 2 hours a fortnight. But he's got to do 5 GCSEs to go on to college, right? Or sixth form. So in irrelevant subjects, then to proceed, you've got to do 3 A-levels in different subjects. So this budding artist now that needs this education, this talented artist, is getting 2 hours a week for same as any other child, unless he takes a topic, then maybe he'll go up to 3 hours a fortnight or whatever. But there's all these things. So these children their skills aren't being promoted or encouraged. You know, they're being kept in boxes. You know, a very controlled mechanism. If this was for the good of the child, you would see the qualities within these children and you'd excel them, you know. You can't judge a fish by his ability to climb a tree, and that's a fact. So here we are, teaching all children from age 36 months this sensitive, unethical topic.
So when did you start the process of taking them to court? When did that start?
So that started in March, but we fought them for a long time up until then. We took part in the consultation, petitions, we were writing to them, we did everything the right way. They acted like we didn't exist, even though the whole country, like 87% of respondents don't want this. You know, they don't even know what's coming, but they don't like the fact the government has taken away their parental opt-out. So we started the ball rolling for court, I think, in March. They dragged it out so long, John, they wouldn't give us a court date. We had to take them to court then. I think it was the end of August for an injunction on it. And that was when they finally give us a court date for the judicial review. They dragged it right out until November the 15th and 16th. They've been deceitful since day one. But we've given them a run for their money, you know. The country knows what's going on now, and most of the country. We still got a lot of people to show, but every day, every single knock, it's all publicity. Even when they say that we're lying, well, parents are concerned. So parents are going to schools, and even though they don't believe us, parents are now going to school realizing that their 3-year-old has sex education and they've got no say in it.
Right.
You know, we're dealing with gender identity here. Underpinned by queer theory, you know, people think that this is all inclusive, but nobody's got a say in this.
No, but another issue is like, because we have so many faiths and religions in the UK now. I mean, even though I'm Christian, I'm not practicing Christian. I'm because it's we're in the 22nd century. I'm socially acceptable that there is people who are gay and bisexual and things like that, and I know people like that. And I
well, can I just say something, John? Something that's really, really important. So there's lots of people fighting this in the UK, but we are the only organisation and only country that we've got a platform that supports all sexualities and all religions. And we do that based on 3 principles. So we're the only people in the world that's achieved this now, right? Because naturally, these minority groups do clash, okay? But we do it based on 3 things. Everyone under 18 is a minor. There's 2 types of people, the human race and human disgrace. And there's 1 split in society, childhood and adulthood. So we have successfully, this is why the media is not touching us, okay? Because their camera comes into our crowd, they don't know if it's a lesbian or a Christian. And that is something, who else has achieved that? We have successfully united people on this common sense purpose. And I am so proud of that. It hasn't been without the struggles, mind, you know, there has been attempts to infiltrate and turn people against each other. But this is really bringing, this is making the cream rise to the top, you know?
Well, obviously I'm running in elections, and when I was delivering leaflets in April, I delivered a leaflet to a door, and on it I just said that I've got issues with gender identity being taught to kids. Let children be children. a woman come to the door. She said, I've got a trans daughter or son. And I went, and, like, I've nothing to get. They can be what they want, but should we be teaching them at 3-year-old? And they went, they don't get taught at 3-year-old. So I spent 15 minutes on my phone showing her. And then she sort of like, the woman like was shocked what I was showing her.
Yeah.
I give her the details for the government thing on the sex education and asked her to look at it. And this is somebody who was against me at first, but
Yeah.
but the view's changing now, and they're realizing what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because on my leaflet it says stop the sexualization of our children, because I believe that's what's happening, not just through religious sex education, what we see on the media, stuff like that, these pop bands and stuff like that. And just recently, there was that scandal with Kim Kardashian and that group who had kids dressed in leathers and stuff like that, whatever it was called. I'm just... So it's just about changing the mind of someone, showing them actual stuff, and people are going into things without even reading about it. It shocks me that.
Well, this is it. We have been asked, what have we got against this teaching? Well, obviously we've researched it right the way back, John, right from where it's come from. So trying to explain that to the everyday person is difficult. So what I say is, we don't disagree to this teaching. We don't disagree to them teaching the full facts, the truth, the whole picture. If they taught that, then obviously you've got the risks, the consequences, you've got the reality in there. And this reality, not a lot of this reality is worth celebrating, especially the origins. There has been child abuse en masse in this, and when people actually, and this is what I mean, I wouldn't disagree to that, but not a lot of people are aware of this, not even people that's caught up in it all. Because like I said, we're a group, we are LGBT. Stop there, okay? Transsexuals we support, so this is old school transsexuals, and we also have parents of children with gender dysphoria. And so there is no, there's no hatred there, there's no issues there, there's all support, there's love, there's no misguidance. Everybody understands where this comes from, everybody understands where this is going. The children on the process to this, they putting things in place to ensure that this is right. So there's nobody saying no here. What we're saying is, whoa, stop. Look at what's going on, because people are picking and choosing parts of this, and it has come from a sinister place. It's easy to paint something bright and colourful when it's really not. And that's all we are saying. So we are not anti anything. We are exposed. We are exposing the truth, and that is it.
Well, I mean, I think majority, and even within the LGBT community, that a lot of them realise that this kind of stuff's wrong.
Well, yeah, you have got LGBT Alliance, Gays Against Groomers, Trans Against Groomers. So Lucia's done an interview with Matt from Gays Against Groomers. I've done an interview with Buck Angel, transsexual. So they are all dead against this. Do you know what I mean? They understand it's a minority within a minority. We've spoken to people with trans regret, and we've spoken to people who have successfully transitioned. So we're being fair. In the information we are putting out there, the research we are doing, we are being fair. Everybody's being fair, So, like I said, we don't object if you're going to teach the truth, but nobody's teaching the truth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, generally, I wouldn't expect like, well, I mean, how do I say this? I mean, some people are never going to accept LGBT ever. And, like, I've had that kind of resistance of people, but we live in the 22nd century. We don't live in the Victorian times. We don't live in the Stone Age times or anything. We live in a time where things are a lot different. People are a lot more individual and stuff like that. And I accept that there's always going to be LGB people, out there. But I understand about the trans thing. But I mean, what bothers me about that is how their rights are trumped above everyone else's. That's scary. And like, if I speak out for conservative family values, then I'll get cancelled. And there was a black woman. She was running as in elections in London. She did a little statement, and all she said, I'll try and find the statement, but all she said was that she believes in the family values. She never mentioned trans. She never mentioned LGBT, and she got sacked from a job where she'd done an exemplary job for the council she worked for 13 years, and she's taken them to court now, but cancelled for that statement. I will find it in a minute, but she wasn't being hateful to anyone. That's the scary thing about all this kind of movement to me, is how quick you can get cancelled and fired.
Well, this is it, John. Empty vessels make the loudest noise, People say to me, I got people saying, "Oh, can you please stop saying LGBT? I'm part of LGBT Alliance. We don't want this, that, and the other." And I can say, look, I'm sorry if you think LGBT is going, saying this stuff's going against you, but I don't label you. I don't label anyone. I see people, John, so I'm a firm believer in, if you need a label, it's a sign of an insecurity. If you're easily offended, easily manipulated, maybe that's why we're having this debate. So I don't see, and people say, people were saying in the beginning, where's all the gay people on this? Well, they're out fighting now, aren't they? They're out there, hammer and tongue, fighting against it. But my argument was, well, they're actually getting on with their lives. They're actually just getting on with their lives because they're just ordinary people. Let's stop with this division, because the only thing that's going on here is there are no different groups in this. There's a human race or the human disgrace. There's no two ways about it. Even if you believe as an adult, this is going to help you with your rights, but somebody's come forward and shown you how this is harming children, then you're a sick individual, actually, because what you should be doing is sacrificing your wants for the children's needs. So there's no excuses for any of this, John, and the adults are supporting it. They are the ones that need all the help, I think.
Yeah, they do. But it's scary, though, like, you can actually get criminal convictions and stuff like that. And, like, even though I haven't been in the position yet, if I come to someone who's trans and you look like a guy, I don't do pronouns, mate. It's just he or her, and it's scary how I'll get cancelled. They're leaving me alone now because I'm nothing. I'm minor and everything. But if it ended up becoming a counsellor, then going further, then they start attacking me, and it's just really scary. It is really.
Well, I won't. I will. The thing is, John, I left school with no qualifications, and my grammar is pretty bad. So I am not playing anyone's game that's going to make my grammar worse. I'm sorry, I am not engaging in it.
So this woman's called Maureen Martin. And a 6-point plan. She's running for mayor of Lewisham, and she was a Christian mayoral candidate for Lewisham. Marriage, I pledge to cut through political correctness and simply state the truth that natural marriage between a man and a woman is the fundamental building block for a successful society. And this is what I find interesting. And the safest environment for raising children. And I do think that the family environment is the best environment to raise children. But she got cancelled and sacked off a job of 13 years for putting that on Twitter.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, John, what she said was facts. It is supported by research. I come from a family with a mother and father, which wasn't great. So there are exceptions. Absolutely, I accept there are exceptions. But as a single parent of two children who has had to raise two boys on her own, I absolutely agree with her. I still absolutely agree with her. And I should be sitting here saying, come on, independent women, girls rule the world. You know, I should be doing all that, if anything. But no, I absolutely agree with her, because the truth is, children in nuclear families do have better life outcomes, and nobody can argue with that. And I certainly not going to sit here and argue with it.
But it's just so scary that can happen. So another thing, which one of you ran in an election?
So that was me, John. I never done anything like that before in my life. I didn't really have time for it, to be honest with you. But I am the kind of woman, I put my money where my mouth is. I don't have any expectations, but I also take opportunity when it knocks, So, I ran as independent in the council election.
And how well did you do? Good evening, Peter Smith.
Do you know, I didn't do too bad, actually. I think I had just under 300 votes. I'm not from this area, so I'm from my stake. So even though I did go to a comprehensive school that falls into this county, I am not in this, and this is Labour-led, okay? This is like, people in these seats have been your donkey's years, they were bred for these seats. So Labour were down a seat because they were making it smaller. So it was supposed to be 3 councillors, but it was 2 seats available. So they were losing a councillor anyway. There was absolutely no way on this earth they were going to lose another. So they did. They put out all the stops on it.
1 minute, the carers are here. I'll just have to open doors so they can get me mum out.
No worries, John. You carry on, boy. You carry on. I'm really sorry, everyone. This is John's platform. I would talk to you all, but I can't really see what's going on. Hi, everyone. So we're streaming to YouTube, but we thank you all for watching, guys. Hey, guys, don't forget to follow our fight against RSE. This is not just in Wales. It's all around the UK. Same storm, different boats. Sorry, John, I took the opportunity to keep things going.
No, honestly, you can say as much as you want, Kim. Honestly, you can say as much as you want. So another thing that I've had to get used to over the few years is court and court cases. Now, I've supported 2 people in court cases, and they both had to learn to do the court themselves. Didn't have a solicitor with them. They had to learn themselves. And obviously, you must be learning the process now, going to court, learning a bit about the law and stuff, yeah?
Well, this is it. So I'm used to criminal courts and family courts. That's what I'm used to. So this whole judicial review process is new. We are really lucky that we've got such a fantastic team, John, of really intelligent people. They couldn't be more down to earth if they were worms, right? But they really are gutsy people. We haven't got a solicitor because, well, nobody would take the case. I know there has been, people don't think the process that we've gone down is the appropriate process, but at the end of the day, you've got to play the system to expose the system. So that was the whole point of the exercise. But everything has been grassroots. It has been a case of learning as you go along. And yes, it's quite a disappointment, really, because when you're used to the family courts and the criminal courts, you don't even get a chance to speak. Your statement has to do the speaking for you. So that's quite frustrating. But yeah, it has been a learning curve. But like I said, it's been grassroots. Everything has come from the bottom up. We've been very much in control of the direction of it. So yeah, it's been quite a journey, John.
Oh, I mean, I would have definitely attended a lot more of your demos, but because I started elections last year and I'm just busy, I haven't had time to go anywhere really. I've just got to concentrate on the party, promote it, and all that. So a couple of weeks ago, you did a stream, a 12-hour stream?
Yeah, so it was a 12-hour sponsored podcast-a-thon. We'd never done anything like that before. We had planned it a couple of weeks before, but that was the day of judgment come through. So even though what we had planned, nothing could go to plan, we had to wing it. So yeah, we actually raised £1,300 we raised for that to go towards the cost. So yeah, that was quite successful actually. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, because I seen you. You were talking about guys you've had on interviewing, and was it Matt? Is it Matt? Did you say Gays Against Group?
Yeah, so Lucia has interviewed Matt. Matt was supposed to do a live that night, but he had woken up. He was ill, he was, so he couldn't make it. But Lucia has done a pre-record with him, and everybody around the world is just so helpful on this topic, John. You know, they can't give enough. The ones that's committed can't give enough, and we just connected with people from all around the world. Even one of our witness statements, expert witness statement, came from a psychiatrist in America. You know.
Yeah, it's good that I've just put your Facebook link to your public child protection into the chat, and everyone, if you want to go on, look at the stuff. Kim's been interviewed. You've been on GB News, haven't you?
No, we haven't been on GB News. We've been on Good Morning Britain for 40 seconds. Jeremy Vine kicked off Jeremy Vine on the second one. They don't like doing live interviews with us. And ITV is just on a hit piece. So look out for that, guys. That's coming soon.
Right. So kicked off Jeremy Vine.
Yeah.
What? Because you said something that wasn't like.
Well, no, because they couldn't hold it. They couldn't hold their own, could they?
Right.
They haven't got a clue what they're talking about. So the first time I was on there, and they control everything. They show everyone this is what they've got a problem with, even though they've never asked you. They put you up against a pop star that's very, very popular, millions of followers. And so the first time I done the interview, they had callers on, answered the questions, and a woman, Susan, at the end from Scotland, confirmed everything I'd said. So they uploaded that to the internet and they cut Susan off the end. The second time I was on there, they put me against Miley in class. So they'd gone up a level and she was there to destroy me, but she couldn't hold her own. So when I was waiting for the callers to ask questions, they cut me off.
Oh my Lord.
Then they uploaded it to the internet and they didn't put me on at all.
Well, I did mention this before, but I've talked to Richard Lucas a couple of times, and they had him on BBC, and it was just such a just fake interview. You know how the stuff they were asking him and stuff like that. And you know what? They'll never ever get me on a live interview. They'll never do it because I won't. The thing is, I won't say things that are politically correct. I won't say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kim, I will not say it. It's in my vocabulary that I don't call a spade a fork. I will never do that. So they'll never ever have me on a live interview. I know they won't. You know what I mean? Because I just won't shut my mouth. Because I mean, a lot of people now who are into politics and stuff, they still won't say the things that matter. And you know, on my leaflet, it says, you have told me about housing, antisocial behaviour, gender identity in schools. Now, even though I've got an issue with it, and the party has, I put it on here because it was the people in the area. It was my people who vote for me who said about that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And when I did say to someone, I was talking to someone and said, gender identity, what's the problem with that? Well, other people have who live around here. No, they shouldn't have. Listen, they've got issues with it. A grandma said to me that why we putting this in school, teaching 3-year-olds stuff like this. Is what she said.
Yeah, the doctor guesses your gender at birth. That's ridiculous. That's what we've got here in Wales, and they're also telling children, right? They draw on their hand, and on each finger name a trusted adult, but not mum and dad. They're keeping secrets, and you can see, like, so you got, this is the mind of a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old has been told she's not allowed to tell her nan and her granddad what happens in school. So when the nan and granddad approaches the 6-year-old, what did you do in school today, babe? The 6-year-old physically goes like that. But when the cousin goes to speak to the 6-year-old about what's happened in school, she talks. Because she's literally taken what she's been told. Don't tell Nana about this. And she's literally not telling her anything that happened in school. And that's how literal and innocent children are. That is dangerous.
one sec. Sorry, I'm just answering someone in the chat. But just yeah. So but like I said, the scariest thing about, I mean, a thing I see in the LGBT community, and especially the T section of it, is that they don't seem that it's just me, 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 me. That's all I see in
Well,
the
this is,
like.
I think, what people do. It should be LGBTQ. A plus everything else, right? Because what it is, people are getting confused with actually transsexuals and kinks, right? So this whole gender identity is brought to the surface now. A lot of kinks, and this is what we're dealing with is kinks. Now we're bringing kinks into the classroom, so it's bringing out that a whole breed of men who have this kink for cross dressing. Now all of a sudden they can self ID, and this is all right. No, it's not all right. It's anything but all right. So what you've got here, you've got mass manipulation, and then we got people saying, you're ruining our rights. We fought for our rights. No, we're actually defending you here, because who's going to get the blame when this goes wrong? There will be a bloodbath, but nobody in politics will get the blame. It's the people waving the flag, shouting the loudest that's going to get the blame.
Well, I mean, Arlene said in the chat there, she was in, I think it was Edinburgh, and she got a little interview with Richard Lucas, and one of the questions I asked, I said, why are the Scottish National Party doing this with this trans thing? And he said they're just following what everyone else is doing. That they're just following the mood and what's going on. And I just can't believe that. So at the moment, it looks like all the government are for this. And they can't all be for it. I don't believe that every member of parliament is behind, have backed this. There must be some of them who've said no, but to me,
the party whipped, aren't they? And this is the issue.
To me, it looks like every single one of them is good. I mean, if I was in the Labour Party or the Conservatives and we're pushing this, and I was in the mindset I were in now, I'd just quit. I wouldn't be in. I'd just leave.
No. Well, I have left the Labour Party. I was the Labour Party till 2017, John. But now I'm all of a sudden some far right bigot. They weren't saying that when they were taking my money. They weren't saying that when they were having a subscription for single parent.
So did you say they kicked you out of the Labour Party?
No. I took myself out.
Right.
Because once I get one whiff of children being failed, I said I'm absolutely disgusted. And when I found out Jeremy Corbyn ignored the Islington care homes, that was it for me.
Okay, honestly. Well, I was talking to someone today who was a whistleblower, and 5-year-old schools or whatever, but she whistleblew. She can't get a job, and everyone's against her because of what she did, and she whistleblew. And I'm glad she told me, because I'm the one who shouts the loudest for these kind of people who are cancelled. They can't do nothing. This woman hasn't got any big money. She's not a mega person like me who's well known and stuff like that. And I just feel for her. So I'm gonna go more, document a story, and then once I get to the council, I'll be asking questions about all these issues. They think that I'm just going to be silent, but I'm not.
No.
I'm not going to be silent.
And this is it. We've got the confident people coming forward for these roles, John, when the people who can actually do it don't have the confidence, and we need to give each other confidence and courage now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and the truth there about Drakeford. Yeah, well, this is it. Drakeford now is accepting the self-ID from Scotland. If you go to Scotland, the self-ID, you're welcome and recognised in this country as now. Well, where are the safeguards? I actually challenged him about that on Twitter yesterday. No doubt I'm blocked today.
Yeah, it's scary. It really is scary. I mean, going forward, I don't know I don't know what's going to happen. Who's going to get cancelled next? And something's got to break and something's got to give. You know what I mean? But I just can't believe me that so many people look. It looks to me that the media show that everybody in the government is for this.
Yeah, well, the media won't touch this, John. The media will not touch it. We've shown them the evidence for it. The same evidence that was accepted in the High Court. The media will not touch it.
They're scared they'll get cancelled.
We've had some articles printed, but I mean, come on, we've had the most high-profile case in the UK running since March. And you were telling me that we have contacted them every step of the way on this. We've been doing demonstrations since June 2020. That's when this all started. They are not allowed to report on it. If we were homophobic, if we were transphobic, if we were racist, if we were far right, guaranteed they would have posted that. This is how I know they're doing a hit piece on me now, because I did an interview with them last week down on Aberafan Beach there, and they were using words like conspiracy theory, peddling lies, and dangerous. Now, they wouldn't have that in their pre-recorded vocabulary unless they intended on using it. So like I said to them, nobody's listening to my words. The people who are behind this are the people that know what's going on. They've looked themselves. You're never going to change their minds. Never, ever going to change their minds. The only control they've got now is over the people that don't know what's going on. And if those people can't be bothered to look anyway, those aren't the people we need on our side. So carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I mean, they love branding you with things. I mean, but the thing is, we're going to have a big problem in Oldham over gender identity in schools, and it isn't going to come from me. It's going to come from the Islamic community. Why do I say this? Because they had protests in Birmingham, and then the following year, then protests moved to Oldham, and then they had some people on telly, and one of them, this is what one guy said on telly. He said, if you don't take gender identity out of schools, then you could have riots again in Oldham. And if I would have said that in that way, I'd have been convicted, I'd have been locked up. They'd have charged me with everything under the sun, but they didn't do nothing to this guy because he's Islamic, and they never say anything to him. That's what infuriates me, Kim, more than any.
We actually campaigned with the Birmingham guys, and in all fairness, they were labelled complete homophobic. They had, and if you look at the reports written about us by Welsh government, they actually state in there, we need to protect our schools from what happened in Birmingham. So I think, like the Muslim community, they are far easier to demonise under this topic, so far easier for people to ignore the situation on as well. So it's interesting how they had so much media attention, and now we've joined forces. There is no media. There's absolutely no media on it at all.
Well, let me just, but I mean, good for them. I'm glad they're standing up to it. But the thing is, if I would have said that, I'd have been convicted of a charge. But this guy was on live on Northwest Tonight saying this, live telly. And nobody said nothing to him. There were no investigations.
Well, the thing is, I know what you're saying, because I used to say things like, oh, I could slap him with a dead fish. I used to say stuff like that in my vocabulary as a joke, right? I've had to stop saying anything like that because I know it's going to be perceived as, it's going to be used or twisted as a threat, So my general vocabulary, my banter, that has had to completely go. Because that will give me a custodial sentence, and that's a fact.
I mean, I can be good with my words, but like I said, it's just, I mean, I don't know what it's like in Wales, but in Oldham, it's just difficult because they just don't say anything. You know what I mean? Now, if I would have said that live on telly, the same way he said it, I'd have been investigated. I'd have had all the lefties cancelling me. And no one said it to him, and the Oldham Council even give him £18,000. So why I'm saying this is that there was an article in paper that Ofsted have said that Oldham has got to do better with gender identity because they're not doing it. A lot of the schools aren't doing it, aren't following the curriculum.
Good.
So it's going to be an issue. Maybe not right now, but it will be an issue, in a bit. But I'll talk to anyone. I'm not keen on the media, but when I'm talking to people and I talk about gender identity, the big thing about me is that should we be teaching our kids this? Because I have issues with television, pop singers, Ariana Grande, all with little skimpy little skirts. I have issues with all that, Kim. I really do, and I just don't think it's good for our children and the way it's promoted on them. And,
it should be regulated. It should be regulated as simple as that. If these people are so talented anyway, they don't need to show off their bodies. If they're that talented anyway, the kids are going to go there. But what you find is they always start off as the girl next door. So the first album is the girl next door. The next album is Sex Kitten. That's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. But it is scary times. Right, we've been on an hour. I'll leave you now. But thank you for coming on, Kim.
No, thanks for having me, John. Sorry for.
No, it's all right. Maybe in a few more weeks or next month or something, you can come on again. Maybe bring one of the other girls on as well. And we'll have a bit talk. And I will make time this year to get down to one of your demos and meeting you all in person, definitely.
Brilliant. Thanks, John. Really appreciate your time. And thanks, everyone, for watching.
I've put your link in the chat to Public Child Protection on Facebook. I'll do it again for next.
And our website as well, John, publicchildprotectionwales.org. Subscribe to our website, guys.
Right, let me just find the website. Yeah, right.
Thanks, John. Really appreciate this. Thank you
no
all
worries,
so much.
Kim. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. And I just hope that you keep going at court and they start shitting it. Come on, I hope they do. Right, so the website is in. I've just put the website up, guys. Public Child Protection. Yeah, please click on it. If you've got issues with gender identity in schools and you're not doing anything, these are the girls who are doing something. So please donate to them, join their website, get a bit more involved. If you're in Wales, get in contact with them over gender identity in schools. And I'm glad that I heard her say that she's on board with the Birmingham Muslims when they're thinking. And I'm not against anyone particularly, but whoever it is got issues with gender identity, then you need to contact me and let's see where we can go on in Oldham. Some people, I don't promote violence, I don't promote like riots and things like that. I have said there could be riots again in Oldham because the council are failing all the time. They're dividing the communities up even more. And at the moment, I think it's an Eastern European community and a Pakistani community that they're at loggerheads. Not even to do with white people this time. And the council never deal with these issues. So when I say there's going to be trouble, there will be trouble. And it won't be anything to do with me. It'll be to do with what the council do. But Public Child Protections, that was Kimberly Isherwood. There is a couple of other girls and we'll get them on next time. But thank you for tuning in. This is Big John, NHPUK TV Thursday. And where's he gone now? I want... The Universe Galaxy MBA, right. You've got my phone number now. Give me a text. You can get me on WhatsApp. But you got my phone number. Please give me a text. Don't email me again. Give me a text. I will double check my emails though, and I'll check my spam and all that. If you've said you've emailed, then I will double check. But thank you very much, guys. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Kevin, Stephen, Pink Roses, thank you. Bobby Crush, Peter, Arlene, thank you very much, love. Busy sharing my stuff around. Johnny Nut Powell. Thank you very much, guys. I'll be on next Tuesday with Paul, Party Talk, and then we've got our Bible class. We've got our Bible class on a Wednesday, our Bible studies. If you want to join, email patrick.mcginnis at nationalhousingparty.uk. Whether you're in the party or not, if you're spiritual and you want to get a bit more involved, come to our Bible study, then come. Paul does. He's really good, Mr. Rimmer, at like talking the talk and walking the walk, and it's good. And you know, I will say I'm not a practicing Christian. Religion is doesn't have a lot of sway with me, but I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. The 3 Bible studies we've had, and that's coming from me, who's not a practicing Christian. I haven't met the Lord. I've never felt the Lord or anything like that. But I was christened, and you know, it's been good. It's been good, and that's coming from someone who's skeptical. It's been good. But if you want to join, get hold of patrick.mcginnis at nationalhousingparty.uk. Even if you only just come on once, listen to us, you can speak a little bit. Paul will try and get you to speak. He'll say, what do you think of what he said this week was, have you been reading some scriptures to everyone? And almost everyone said they'd read a bit. I always have the New Testament. I do look through the Gospel of John quite regular, but I'm after getting a new Bible, a King James Bible. But thank you very much, everyone. Good night, and I'll catch you all on Tuesday.